Welcome to the Climate and Water Outlook for Spring 2021. An Indian Ocean dipole event is likely to persist through much of spring. This is likely to bring wetter than average conditions to much of eastern and southern Australia. But first, let's look at recent conditions. Southern Australia had an old-fashioned winter with a series of cold fronts in June and July. Overall, it was Australia's wettest winter since 2016. Temperatures were generally above average over winter, particularly across the tropical north. Darwin hit 35 degrees on the 15th of August, their earliest 35-degree day on record. Root zone soil moisture in agricultural areas reflects the good winter rainfall, particularly in southwestern WA. Many water storages across southern Australia continued to fill during August. Storages in the southwest coast and in the South Australian Gulf regions have risen by more than 14% over the past month. The Murray-Darling Basin storages increased by about 7%, while those in southern Victoria and in Tasmania also rose over the past month. So what will influence our climate in the coming months? The Negative Indian Ocean Dipole event, or IOD, is likely to persist during spring. This means warmer ocean waters near Indonesia and cooler waters off Africa. We also have warm waters to the north of Australia. This pattern enhances winter-spring rainfall over much of southern and eastern parts of the continent. In the tropical Pacific Ocean, sea surface temperatures are forecast to cool over the coming months, but only one of the 7 models we survey reaches La Niña criteria. Even if we don't reach La Niña, this pattern is likely to bring above average rainfall to parts of the country. As a result, spring is likely to be wetter than average for much of the eastern 2/3 of Australia, but potentially drier in western parts of both WA and Tasmania. The first rains of the northern Australia wet season are likely to be earlier than normal over much of Queensland and the Northern Territory. High stream flows are expected for most forecast locations for August to October. Where soils and catchments are wet and stream flows are high, further rainfall will increase the risk of flooding, particularly in eastern Australia. Spring days are likely to be warmer than average across northern and southeastern Australia, while nighttime temperatures are very likely to be warmer than average for all areas except the southwest. The spring bushfire outlook shows above normal fire potential for northeastern parts of New South Wales and southeast Queensland. Already wet parts of the southeast have below normal fire potential this spring. So in summary, spring is likely to see above average rainfall for the eastern 2/3 of Australia, warmer than average days for northern and southeastern areas, an increased risk of flooding in parts of the southeast, and increased fire potential in parts of the east and northwest. Thanks for joining us. You can find out more about our outlooks on the Bureau's website. We'll see you next time.